Hello everyone and welcome to the 10th episode special of Help Me Make a Map. In today's video there will be a war on our map and there will be a few different sides in this war. I will give you commentary on where the troops are, where they might be going to, and what is happening in the war and why this stuff is happening. Without further ado, let's get into it. Wait. Before we get into it, you can see these black dots on screen right now. These will be a visual representation for you of where the troops are and what they're doing. Now let's get into it. On the first year, the British Empire established 3 separate colonies on this island, hoping to get natural resources and any other stuff that might lie within this landmass. Over the next 6 years, rules were established, mines were made, and many people came to this land for new homes. But on the 6th year, a rebellion started in the 3rd and smallest colony. The name of this rebellion was the Kingdom of the Fallen. Over the next couple months, this rebellion gathered more people and grew until it was able to conquer the entire 3rd colony. Soon it sent out ships, and over the next year, those ships arrived on the Isle of Holy Cheese, making a landing point and conquering some of the land from the British Empire. After all of this, another group of people who were dissatisfied with the rule of the British Empire rebelled on the Isle of Holy Cheese. News reached the main settlement of all these rebellions and how they were attacking the other colonies, and a group of army soldiers started to move out towards the docks to give reinforcements to the Isle of Holy Cheese. Next in the war, the rebellions continued to grow and were able to capture some of the middle ground of the Isle of Holy Cheese, eventually touching borders. But this caused the rebellion of the Fallen to attack the other rebellion. And because the Kingdom of the Fallen had more experience, they were able to take out the other rebellion, known as the Rebellion of Victoria. After completely capturing the Rebellion of Victoria, the Kingdom of the Fallen decided to capture all the coast to their south, followed by them capturing all of the land to their north. This was as far as they were going to be able to expand, as the reinforcements had just reached the docks and were about to arrive at the island and push back the Kingdom of the Fallen. And so they did. They started off with reclaiming all the coastal territories to get access back to trade, merchant ships, and travel. This also gave them access to lush forests that resided along the coast, and all of the farming areas, so they could get back on their feet and continue to push back the Kingdom of the Fallen with great ease. Next, they continued to push into the northern and southern regions, leaving an area of the Kingdom of the Fallen stuck and almost completely cut off from the rest of the kingdom in the centre of the island. But while the British Empire was preoccupied with that, the Kingdom of the Fallen was establishing new colonies on the main island and on the outer area of the main island, making use of space that the British Empire had not claimed yet. Next in the war, the British Empire completely disconnected that one little area of the Kingdom of the Fallen, leaving it disconnected and sitting within the British Empire, making it an easy target and easily destroyable. Also, the Kingdom of the Fallen made their colonies larger and much stronger. They also started to train more troops, but those troops would not be done for about another year. After another year, the British Empire completely destroyed that one area of the Kingdom of the Fallen that was disconnected. Meanwhile, the Kingdom of the Fallen relinquished part of its territory to make a sort of no man's land, hoping to create a buffer between its own land and the British Empire. It was hoping to do this to buy time to enlarge its own colonies, to gather resources, and put up a fight against the British Empire at a later date. Then, the British Empire claimed the no man's land and touched borders yet again with the Kingdom of the Fallen. As well as that, they noticed that the bottom settlement was growing rapidly in unclaimed land. So the British Empire started to claim that land for itself, eventually creating a large border between its colony and the Kingdom of the Fallen's colony. Eventually, both kingdoms became unhappy with their current land yet again and went back to a fight. The Isle of Holy Cheese saw the British Empire taking more land from the Kingdom of the Fallen in the northern area, and on the mainland mass, the Kingdom of the Fallen took a large amount of land from the British Empire inside the Tamatoa Swamp. Surprisingly, things started to go even further up for the Kingdom of the Fallen as they broke behind the front line on the Isle of Holy Cheese and were able to push so far they reached Trealy Bay on the main island. The Kingdom of the Fallen made use of this and pushed the British Empire back to a river, using it as a natural border on the main island. And on the Isle of Holy Cheese, they were able to eliminate the part of the British Empire that they had disconnected from the main area, destroying all of the armies on the Isle of Holy Cheese and leaving it up for free pickings for them, making this a very favourable situation for them. After that, the Kingdom of the Fallen continued to make progress by expanding their reach in the Isle of Holy Cheese and sending out a boat down by Trealy Bay to get behind the enemy front lines and do maximum damage and shred through the land of the British Empire. Next, their land continued to grow as the area that they had sent a ship to grew, cutting off an area of British land. And on the Isle of Holy Cheese, they were able to spread their land further up northward. The familiar face returning, the Rebellion of Victoria returns up on the Isle of Holy Cheese, claiming a sizable amount of land. As well as that, on the mainland mass, the Kingdom of the Fallen continues to spread their land, capturing the entire area of disconnected British Empire territory, as well as that, conquering all of their southern territory on the main landmass. In the following years, the Rebellion of Victoria and the Kingdom of the Fallen pushed the British Empire entirely off of the Isle of Holy Cheese. In the following years, the Rebellion of Victoria turned on the Kingdom of the Fallen and started to conquer the entirety of the Isle of Holy Cheese for themselves. As well as that, the British Empire sent out a boat behind enemy lines in the Kingdom of the Fallen, starting to conquer a large amount of land on the eastern shores of Trealy Bay. In the following years, things went very similarly, with the British Empire continuing to conquer land behind enemy lines, and the Rebellion of Victoria continuing to take over the Isle of Holy Cheese with great ease. And continued like that for about the next 6 years. With the only change being that on the 7th year, the Kingdom of the Fallen started to push back against the British Empire's attack into their territory. In the following years, the Rebellion of Victoria pushed the Kingdom of the Fallen almost entirely off the Isle of Holy Cheese, leaving them only with one peninsula. As well as that, the Kingdom of the Fallen continued to push into the British Empire, almost completely severing part of their attack. Next up, the British Empire tries to push the Kingdom of the Fallen back, but in the process does do so and does retake some land, but it is not much. As well as that, the Rebellion of Victoria almost entirely pushes the Kingdom of the Fallen off of the Isle of Holy Cheese, leaving them with only a small part of the peninsula left. Next, as we all expected, the Kingdom of the Fallen splits the British Empire's attack in half, leaving one bit without a fresh flow of resources and without any new troops coming in. As well as that, obviously, the Victorian Rebellion completely conquers the Isle of Holy Cheese with ease. Next, they may be looking at different territories, but we will find out later. Next, the Victoria Rebellion sends out a ship to the Kingdom of the Fallen's easternmost colony. As well as that, the Kingdom of the Fallen starts to weaken that disconnected area of the British Empire. The British Empire does attempt to reconnect with the stranded area of their troops, but unsuccessfully and sadly, they fail to reconnect in time, and their troops are completely absorbed by the Kingdom of the Fallen. As well as that, the Victorian Rebellion starts to almost completely conquer the easternmost colony of the Kingdom of the Fallen. As well as that, they start to invade one of the other colonies of the Kingdom of the Fallen. well as that, the British Empire, enraged by what the Kingdom of the Fallen did, decided to invade and kill their last army in the region, making it open pickings for them and easy to invade. As well as that, the rebellion of Victoria finished taking out the Kingdom of the Fallen's colony and might be looking elsewhere. We will see in the coming years. Next, the Victorian Rebellion, having already conquered all of the southern and eastern territories, decided to swoop in and conquer some of mainland Kingdom of the Fallen, so that the British Empire didn't conquer all of the land and become so powerful it could easily take out the Victorian Rebellion itself. Victorian Revolution started to rapidly expand in order to make sure the British Empire did not cut them off from gaining land. And then they started to cut off the British Empire from gaining land themselves. Victoria Revolution immediately tried to gain as much land as possible in the Kingdom of the Fallen, but the British Empire, seeing this, attempted to stop them by invasion. Promptly, the Victoria Revolution pushed this back and almost took all of the land from the British Empire's colony on the eastern side of Treaty Bay. Next, the Victorian Rebellion decided to stop invading the Kingdom of the Fallen in order to create a buffer between itself and the main colony of the British Empire. Instead, they started invading the British Empire's eastern colony in order to still gain land but not have to fight a large battle. But then, the British Empire took all of the Kingdom of the Fallen's land, destroying the buffer between itself and the Victorian Rebellion. At the same time, the Victorian Rebellion took over all the land from their eastern colony, followed by the Victorian Rebellion moving their troops back to the front line and starting to invade main colony British Empire. As well as that, they had sent out a ship to the southern area of their main colony in order to get behind their front lines and start demolishing their territory even faster. But following that up, the British Empire saw that they had sent a boat over and made a landing, so they immediately sent troops over and demolished it. Over the next few years, the Victorian Rebellion continued to destroy all of the British Empire's land on the main island, including sending another ship out and creating another landing on the southern area of their colonies. Then the Victorian Rebellion reconnected with their landing, and then they used all of this land and troops to push through the final part of the British Empire, winning the war and conquering this island. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
You always come back.